Hello everybody. Once again, this is Fred Wigwe coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bull Talk on Island TV. And as usual, I like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world. I'm going to make this brief because this episode today is going to be just trying to share with you a video that I found that I think many Nigerians today and many people around the world will be very interested in seeing a part of humanity that doesn't manifest a lot when you talk about Nigeria. When I talk about a Nigerian that is very, very humanitarian in a very non-tribal way, I think of Femi Otedola. That's who I know. I'm sure there are many more. Last Friday, Nigeria lost a gem. They lost a gem in Herbert Wigwe. I've never heard of Herbert Wigwe before in my life. So you'll be wondering, then why are you talking about it? You're going to find out in a minute. Alongside in the helicopter crash that killed Mr. Herbert Wigwe, where his wife, Chizoba, his son, Chizi, and a good friend of his, Abimbolo Gumbanjo, who used to be the chairman of the Nigerian Exchange Group. So you're talking about a significant blow to the financial industry, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa, with a lot of impact on the world. Over the last 45 years, I've lived in the United States. And during that time, I've developed this strong heart and immunity towards loss of life if it doesn't concern my family friends, and relatives of my family friends. It's not because I don't care, but when you live in Chicago, every day you turn on the news, all you're hearing is this person was killed, and it's all kinds of people from very, very highly placed to very ordinary people, but killing becomes so common, you just flip the channel and go to the next one. I don't know why I was hit so hard with the news of the plane crash, helicopter crash that killed Mr. Herbert Wigwe. Never heard of him before. You could say I'm ignorant. I've never heard of Herbert Wigwe before. I'm not a banking person. I'm not a money person. I'm not into running around looking for who has what. It doesn't impress me. And what impresses me about this man's story is still not about his money. I don't give a damn about money. I like money. If I make it, I'm happy. But I don't go kissing up to people because of their money. It's just my nature. Mr. Herbert Wigwe is a very wealthy Nigerian who is in banking. But banking did not define who he was. Mr. Wigwe was a lot more things outside banking. And it is those things that I just found out. I just read them. I went in and read a lot about him, and I saw a lot of news about him. It's all the things outside banking that he was involved in. Those are the things that really defined him. And every one of them revolved around kindness. I saw a piece on Arise TV with Dr. Abati and Ayo Eshe and Rufai Oseni interviewing Mustafa Chikobi and Atedo Peterside, the chairman of Stanbic Bank. Again, the focus of their discussion, this is a dear friend of theirs. They are heartbroken. You could feel pain in two grown men over 60 years old. You could feel pain and anguish. None of them was talking about Mr. Wigwe's prowess in banking. None of them were talking about his wealth. They were talking about his heart. They were talking about his kindness. And they were talking about how those things he did outside banking are really the things that defined the real person he was. It was really dear to my heart to see that in a country where it's all about money, devil may care how you get it and all that we still have people like Herbert Wigwe and the one I used to know, which is Femi Otedola. I wish Nigeria would have more people like this across our country. People who give without the bright lights of cameras. People who give because it's the right thing to do. And people who pick up little people that are hopeless and give them hope. This piece I'm gonna show you, all the credit goes to Arise TV and Okpe. It was an interview that Okpe did with Herbert Wigwe in 2019. It was simply priceless. How priceless? And I'll conclude on this and show you the video. Okpe asked Herbert Wigwe, what do you consider your most prized possession today? In 2 words, he said, my wife. She followed up with, what would you consider perfect happiness? Herbert Wigwe said, spending time with my children. And who was on that helicopter with him? His wife and his son. May their souls rest in peace. And may God give the remaining children of the Wigwes the wherewithal to deal with the loss. And to the Abimbola Ogunbanjo family, my condolences are with you. If any of you is a fan of Arise TV like I am, especially the Okpe show, you know how lively and bubbly and playfully she starts out her shows. In this piece you're gonna watch, you're gonna see a broken woman. You're gonna see a broken Okpe trying to talk about the life of somebody she knew personally. I hope you enjoy the video.
Joining us now is Ojinika Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning? Morning, Ayo.
Morning, Oji.
Morning, Rufai.
Morning, Oji.
Well, all right. Well, let's begin what's trending by paying tribute to the group CEO of Access Bank, Dr. Herbert Wigwe, who died in a helicopter crash in the United States alongside his wife, Doreen Wigwe, his son, Chizi Wigwe, and Abimbola Ogunbanjo. I had the pleasure of interviewing Herbert Wigwe in July 2019, and he gave an insight to his values, personal style, and his most treasured possessions.
Hello, Herbert.
Yes, Oji, please come in.
Thank you for having us today.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I could be fooled that you were in a gallery.
Well, we enjoy collecting. And so this represents some of the pieces that we have. So, yes.
I can see you're such a huge art lover. What is your favorite piece in this room?
I think each piece means something to me. I like all of them for different reasons. You know, there are several that inspire me, but I think I kind of like each and every one of them for a different reason.
What is your must-have artwork?
my must-have artwork. Different, difficult to say, but I think I have a lot of Ben Enwonwu's, because he did great pieces.
Trick question. You just said Ben Enwonwu. So I'll ask you, the Mona Lisa or Ben Enwonwu's tutu?
If you're African, it's Africa's Mona Lisa. And tutu is truly beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. Beautiful. And a lot of history behind it, by the way.
Can we take a walk towards your gallery/office? Because I see, walking in here, I saw so many art pieces that you have. But before we do that, what gives you joy?
What gives me joy? Watching my people be the best that they can be.
What was the last country you visited?
Ghana.
Why Ghana?
We do have a business there, and so I go quite often. We have meetings out there, yes.
Do you have your phone with you?
Not here.
Where's your phone?
It's in my office.
Can we have someone get his phone for me? So you have your phone right here. All right. So tell me, how much time do you spend on social media?
It depends on what you mean. If it is on WhatsApp messages, on WhatsApp, I would say cumulatively in a day, maybe, what would you say, 4 hours? 3 to 4 hours?
Really? Twitter or Instagram?
No, Twitter more like.
All right. In a tweet, tell your followers something people don't know about you.
Very difficult. I think I'm a very transparent person. I think most people know a lot about me.
I don't think so. But can you just think of one little tweet that you can have, just real quick?
That people don't know about me?
Yes.
Very emotional.
So how do you deal with negative press?
I have my own defense mechanisms. I think that it depends on what the negative press is about. If it has to do with business, we would basically set up as a team, see what the implications on our business is, and then respond. Now, more pieces here that are interesting. Obviously, this is the Doba, and of course, you can see the Emir of Kano, different excerpts of the Doba. A great piece out here by Yeson. But this is particularly interesting. We normally have the marathon every year. And this is actually the marathon live, captured by the drones. So these are people. Last year we had well over 200,000 people running. So these are all people, but I think this is on the 10-kilometer stretch. So it was captured by the drone, and if you don't look well, you can't tell. But this is straight from the last marathon.
All right, this is a huge space. You're definitely a successful man, Mr. Wigwe. What does success mean to you?
I think, quite frankly, each time we have access people doing great things, it means quite a lot to all of us. And to me personally.
What would you like to be remembered for?
What would I like to be remembered for? As one who contributed in creating one of the largest financial institutions in the continent, one that basically helped build an institution that will be remembered over time, all right, as an institution that will be able to compare favorably with all the other large and successful financial institutions in the world. That is one aspect that has to do with my career.
What is your proudest moment?
Difficult to tell. There has been several. I think one of them obviously was, on a personal basis, my first son's graduation, and for no other reason but seeing your first, that you put in a lot of effort doing well in school.
What is your biggest learning experience?
Several. How complex the human being is. While the human being is the most perfect machine, he represents a very, very complex construct in terms of their thinking, in terms of expectations and emotions and all of that. And it's just coming through several things which we've had to do in terms of combinations and all. But it's nothing. And of course, the most important thing is that there's no favor you can do to anybody or that can be repaid, or any favor that's been done to you that you can repay.
What do you consider the most overrated virtue?
I think love is, and the simple reason is that you can love several people, you can love your children, you will love your spouse, you can love your staff. They're all worthy of being loved. And so sometimes people use the word in a manner that I just think is overrated. Because you must be able to show it to several different stakeholders and people and family and staff, etc.
What do you consider your most treasured possession?
My wife, obviously. My wife, obviously.
Fantastic. And why is that?
My strongest asset and my greatest cheerleader and my greatest strength, by far.
What is a typical lazy day for you?
Very few. I'm not, I don't find myself in those circumstances, but let me tell you what I'd rather be doing if I'm not working. I would be in a spa, I would be in the gym, I could be having a massage for several hours. Yes, that would be my lazy day, obviously.
What are the 3 things you can't live without?
Very difficult question. I think my children and my wife, which is basically my family, that would be the starting point. If I can't find a sanctuary where I'll be at peace with myself, to pray and things like that, it will be a very difficult thing. And obviously, I like my people around me and people that I work with. The day I can't do anything, I can't work anymore, I think my life will be in tatters.
So, your family, your sanctuary, and your work.
Yes, very important to me.
Fantastic. What's your idea of perfect happiness?
Spending time with my children. Definitely.
All right. What's your greatest fear?
Failure. A bank run, for instance.
A well-rounded, perfect gentleman. Our heart goes out to the Wigwe family and the Ogumba Job family.
Herbert Wigwe definitely spent time with his children. He definitely spent time with the most cherished thing in his life, his wife. And Herbert Wigwe was definitely not a failure. He is a picture of success. And I don't mean money. I don't mean wealth, the way people look at it. I mean kindness. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Fred Wigwe coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bull Talk on LNTV. Until next time, good night and God bless.